Welcome, my friends, to our second poet. This is Marshall. There he is. A bit later than Ovid, some decades later, famous for epigrams. Now, epigrams are originally a Greek poetic form. Very short poems usually. This one's 8 lines long. This is the first half of it here now. But often they're only 2 lines long or whatever. Very short, containing pithy observations about life, proverbial wisdom, or jokes sometimes. So there can be all sorts of things. The one you read by Catullus, Odi et Amo, some years ago, that was an example of an epigram, a 2-line love poem, which has lasted for a very long time. This one's a lament for a dead charioteer, as you can see, and we're going to cover the first 4 lines in this video. Right, here we are again in the poem. So before we go through the poem word by word, I just want to pick out roughly what's going on. So you can see in each line, we start with a verb, frangat, plange, mutet, and mite. And those are the only verbs in the poem. Okay. And also you can see each line has got a subject that's a proper noun. So victory, our word favour, support, honour, and glory. Okay, so that's a bit strange in itself. We've got 4 verbs, 4 subjects. Right, let's go through the poem line by line and word for word, the first 4 lines anyway. But first of all, I want to point out this pattern of verbs at the start. I've just mentioned the pattern that there are 4 verbs, but have a look at the actual form of each verb. The first and third one have got T on the end, and they're actually present subjunctives, which means let or may. I think you've met those in the Ovid. And the second and fourth ones are imperatives, straightforward commanding words with E on the end, plange and mite. Right, let's start. So that means let break. Frango is I break. And it's let sad victory break. That's tristis victoria, that's nominative, agreeing with that. So let sad victory break the Judean palms. You see, Idumeas, Idumean, means from Judea, which is a Roman province where Israel or Palestine is today in the Middle East, a source of fine palms. So presumably the charioteer won the palms. Remember, Palma was the prize in the Ovid poem. He won these palms, and now because he's dead, the poet is asking or encouraging Victory, who is now sad, to break these palms because it's all awful. There's no point in him having won them. Okay, so let sad Victory break the Judean palms. And then he starts talking to favour. Remember in the Ovid poem, that root fawa was the one used by the girl and by the poet about the girl supporting different charioteers. So, and favour, lament. Sorry, strike, it can mean lament, but here it means strike. Strike your pectora nuda, strike your bare breast or bare chest. And then 2 ablatives, saiwa manu, with your savage hand. Okay, favour, strike or beat your bare breast or bare chest with a savage hand. So the idea that favour or support, a god often appealed to in chariot racing, is now being asked to lament the death of this charioteer. Then we go on to lines 3 and 4. Okay, and we saw there's a similar pattern in lines 3 and 4 from lines 1 and 2. So here we have let honour change. That's muto, to change, like mutation in biology. Commute, where you change your place from home to work. Anyway, so let honour change its clothes, i.e. put on mourning clothes, M-O-U-R-N, put on clothes of sorrow. So let honour change its clothing, and then we now start talking, the pattern changes a bit, because we now start talking to sorrowful or grieving glory before the 3rd line ends. So this 3rd and 4th line runs on. There's some enjambement going on there. I must remember that word. So that the pace kind of picks up and it gets more emotional towards the end. So let honour change its clothing, and grieving glory send, mite. Okay, throw, it suggests here. Throw your coronatas comas, throw your crowned or garlanded hair because when they won, they got garlands for their hair, wreaths in their hair. Throw your crowned hair as munera, as offerings to the unjust or unkind flames. So, grieving glory, throw your crowned hair as gifts to the unkind flames. Now, that's a Roman funeral custom. You often cut a lock of hair off and put it into the fire during a funeral. So this time the hair has got Gloria has crowned hair. Obviously, Gloria as a goddess would have an important, powerful wreath in her hair. So the poet's saying, look, Glory, cut off some hair, chuck it into the flames as an offering. And the flames are iniquitous, they're unkind or they're unjust, possibly, because it's so unjust that this guy's died. So quite a lot there. It's quite poetic, quite a lot to think about. Let's just whiz through it again. So let sad victory break the Judean palms, and favour, beat your bare chest with your savage or cruel hand. Let honour change its clothing, and, grieving glory, throw your garlanded hair as offerings to the unkind flames. Quite different from Ovid, I think you will see.